kids. I'm Karin, and I am a fifth-year student at Augusta University, and I study cancer research.
I'm Emily Parker, and I'm a third-year student at Augusta University who studies muscle. And today we'll be talking about eggs
and how to keep our bones healthy.
So who thinks this egg can fit inside this flask?
To do this experiment, you will need 1 egg, hard-boiled and peeled. You will also need a box of matches, parental supervision required, and a flask or a bottle with a small neck. After boiling the egg, peel the shell. Light a match, have your parents help you, place it in the bottle or the flask, and add the egg. Hypothesis proven. What happens if we don't boil the egg? Oops! This reminds me of a story called Humpty Dumpty.
What really happened to Humpty? From the Files of a Hard-Boiled Detective by Joe Dumpty, as told to Jeannie Franz Ransom. Illustrated by Stephen Axelson. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty was pushed. At least I think so. Who am I? I'm Joe Dumpty, Humpty's younger brother. You probably haven't heard of me. I never was Mother's favorite. Mother Goose, that is. Ever since she became Police Chief Goose, she thinks I'm just stirring up trouble with my detective business. Yes, Mother Goose always liked Humpty best. He's such a good egg. That's why I think it's a crime that he fell off the wall. After all, he'd been sitting up there for as long as I can remember with no problems whatsoever. Until that awful scrambled-up day. It was a picture book perfect morning. The old woman who lives in a shoe had just dropped off her kids at the Jack and Jill daycare center. The 3 little pigs were putting the finishing touches on their latest house, and across the field, Humpty was sitting on the wall. I wish I'd stopped to crack a few jokes with my brother, but it was Humpty's first week as captain of our neighborhood watch program, and I didn't want to distract him. Besides, it was almost 9, and I had to get to work. I made a quick stop and ran into Little Red Riding Hood. The muffin man's scrambling to fill a big order, Red said. I can't even buy 1 lousy muffin for my grandmother. She sniffed loudly and stomped off in a huff. With my espresso in hand, I headed to the office. As I opened my office door, the phone rang. It was little Miss Muffet. Joe, something's happened to Humpty. I raced to the wall. Miss Muffet was there, cell phone in hand. I called 911, she sobbed. I looked at my brother. He wasn't making a sound. Whoever did this was going to fry. I walked back around the wall, and that's when I saw it. Something shiny was tucked under Miss Muffet's tuffet. She was on the phone, so I didn't bother asking if I could look under her tuffet. I just did. It was a pair of binoculars. Not just any binoculars. These puppies were the official binoculars of the Neighborhood Watch program. Humpty had been showing them off ever since he'd become captain. What are you doing with those? Muffy asked, grabbing the binoculars. I was just about to ask her the same thing when all of the king's horses and all of the king's men arrived. They couldn't put Humpty together again, so they scooped him up and rushed to the hospital. What's the story? I asked Muffy. I wanted some answers. Muffy sighed. I was just shooting the breeze with Humpty, waiting for Spider. Humpty was letting me try his binoculars, when suddenly this huffy-puffy wind blew him right off the wall. Police Chief Goose pulled up in her big honking cruiser. I was at the 3 Pigs, she apologized. The wind we had this morning blew down their new house. I just told Joe that the wind made Humpty fall, Muffy said. I made Humpty fall, said a small voice out of nowhere. It's my fault, Spider said, dropping down from the tree. I was rushing to get down here by 9 this morning, my usual time, when this puff of wind pushed me straight towards Humpty. I must have scared him, because the next thing I know, Humpty was on the ground. I zipped home, but I knew I had to fess up. Humpty was my friend. My brother wasn't afraid of anything. That's why he was the perfect neighborhood watch captain. What happened to Humpty wasn't your fault, Spider, I said. It wasn't anybody's fault, Muffy chimed in. It was an accident. Agreed, Chief Goose said. Go on to the hospital, Joe, she told me. I'll write up an accident report. But, Chief, Humpty's been sitting on the wall for years without a wobble, I said. Then the first week he's neighborhood watch captain, he suddenly falls. The same day the pig's house blows down? Coincidence? I don't think so. Chief Goose sighed. Okay, Joe. Since Humpty's your brother, I'll give you till 5 o'clock to play detective. If you don't have anything by then, I'm writing that accident report. I didn't have much time. I hurried to the hospital. Thanks to the miracles of modern technology, combined with some nifty techniques the doctors discovered when Jack fell down and broke his crown, Humpty was on the mend, but he didn't remember a thing. I wonder if Humpty would have bounced if he wouldn't have broken his shell.
Let's see if we can make Humpty Dumpty, an egg, bounce. You'll need 1 egg, a beaker or a cup, food coloring, pick your favorite color, and distilled white vinegar. After mixing vinegar and food coloring, drop your egg in and let it sit for 24 hours. After 24 hours, pull the egg out of the vinegar and see if it will bounce. Looks like we fixed Humpty's problem. Now, while we don't have eggshells like Humpty Dumpty, we do have bones, which have a lot of things in common with eggshells. So let's learn more about bone.
Are my bones bendy? Your bones are strong, but are also slightly soft and bendy. Your bones hold up your body and help it move around. If your bones were too stiff, they would break easily. Then it would be difficult to move and do things like ride a bicycle. The skeleton. The bones in your body join together to make your skeleton. This keeps you from falling over. The skeleton inside of you looks something like Stan the Skeleton Man.
Hi kids, my name is Stan the Skeleton Man. In order to keep your bones healthy like mine, be sure to drink plenty of milk and go outside and play every day. That way you don't have to be put together again like Humpty Dumpty.